I journal consistently for 30 days to see whether or not it will make any changes to my life. And spoiler, it did. And second spoiler, it's actually quite awesome. So without further ado, let's just jump into my experiment, and I would like to split it into 4 parts by answering those 4 simple questions. First question, what is journaling actually, or how I journaled? So by journaling my scenario, my experiment, I mean actually just simple brain dump / diary type of journal, and it basically means that at the end of every single day, I would just sit down and I reminisce about the things that have happened to me during the day, but I was mostly focusing on my thoughts and my emotions, where I was trying to depict both negative and positive thoughts and like good and sort of bad emotions. And I was just trying to understand what I felt throughout the day, or how certain things have made me feel, and just overall like to understand better how the day went. So it could be anything from the way I reacted on a given situation, or how a situation or a person made me feel, and things like that. So basic reflection. Every single evening I did that. So this is what. Next question is where I did it. And if you've been watching my videos, then of course you know that I'm gonna say Hobonichi. So Hobonichi Cousin that I use, it has this like daily spreads, and I've been using that for journaling. As you see, well, for every single day I would just write down whatever was on my mind over here, and I've been really consistent with that actually. Yes, I've skipped a couple days when I was sick, or one time I arrived super late and the flight was just like in the middle of the night. So sorry, not sorry. That in that scenario, I was just writing the whatever I remembered the next day. So it's okay. It's okay if you don't write every single day. You know, you can have your reasons, you can have your life, but yeah, you gotta stay consistent. And I also wanted to mention that apart from Hobonichi, I've been using also a simple pocket journal or notebook, just because, well, I wanted to carry it around with me if I wanted to reflect on something, if I had some thoughts on my mind or some ideas. So that I've been using as well. And I had a backup journal, like a simple notebook like that I've been also using if I was feeling as if, well, usually I use that if I was reflecting on something that I wanted to specifically discuss with my therapist on the next session. And yeah, because Hobonichi space is limited, and sometimes I felt like there's so much inside of me that it should go on a blank piece of paper without any dates or anything like that. Next question is how it helped me, why I think that journaling is so great, and what are the benefits. So first thing I noticed is that my anxiety levels have reduced drastically. And I don't know whether or not it is due to the meditative nature of the whole journaling experience, because you have to sit down and you have to focus and just do that for a given amount of time. So I don't know if it is about that, but I do believe that the main reason is because I had a possibility to take a look at my own thoughts and my own feelings from, like, you know, third perspective. Like as if it is somebody else looking at my life. And it is super great because sometimes my brain, it can create such terrible pictures, like it can dramatize so much. And I have noticed that during this 30 days, my tendency to dramatize things have reduced again significantly. So right now, whenever I feel like anxious or there's something going on, and then I write it down, I take a look at it again, and most of the times it just doesn't feel that bad. It just doesn't feel so terrible. And I think my brain now, it knows that, okay, I don't need to go all crazy and create this tornado of thoughts and thinking that the world is gonna end every single time, because look at those letters and words. It's not that bad. So definitely this I noticed and I love it, and this is one of the reasons I'm going to continue with it. Second, well, I mentioned the meditative nature of the whole process. And by that I mean that when you are journaling, you are actually, like, again, focusing on one task. There's nothing else in the world. It's just a pen and a paper, and then you just write down your thoughts. And how it works for me is that in the beginning I felt super reluctant. Like was almost forcing myself to sit down and write, and I was like, oh my god, like this takes so much time, I'm bored, I want to scroll, I want to do something else, give me my dopamine. My attention span is like 0 seconds. Well, where towards the end of the experiment, I was looking forward to the journaling experience that evening, I was actually noticing that every time it gets easier and easier to focus. So I do believe that journaling helps you train that focus and attention muscle, which in our age is super, super important. So yeah, there it goes. Next thing I noticed is that journaling made me more honest with myself. And again, this is due to the whole fact that I'm writing about myself and have a possibility to reflect on it almost as if I wasn't there, like, as if somebody's given me these emotions and feeling, and I'm just looking at it and I'm just trying to understand whatever was going on, and maybe give advice to that person. So by honesty, I mean that, I felt this tendency that sometimes I didn't want to be that honest with myself when I was writing it, like I was trying to add a bit more lies to some things where I couldn't just admit that I was wrong, or that I didn't do something where I should, or I was being a very bad person overall, And then as the time moved on, I became more and more honest with myself, first because it's just a paper and a notebook and nobody's gonna see it, hopefully, and even if they do, like, who cares? So this doesn't matter at all. But what matters is that, I became more open and less judgmental towards myself. So honesty is a big part towards understanding yourself better. And another thing that goes together with that is the possibility to improve yourself. Like, here is a specific example. I was writing the other day and I noticed that I'm so annoying. Like, I've been super annoying all the day, whether I was hormonal or whatever, but I was like really, really, really annoying and annoyed by everything, and my boyfriend got in the way and the whole world got in the way. And I was reading that and I was like, oh my god, like, I don't want to be in the room with this person. And how it works for me is that next time I feel something like that, I've read about it, I already know where it can lead, and I know that I can control it if I can. So I will just try to make a bit of an effort and improve a bit the way I act and the way I communicate, and that way I hope I'm becoming a better person, or at least I'm working towards improving myself. So this is super great. I wanted to conclude with the last question: what are the rules of journaling? And I would say simply there are no rules, but maybe you need to remember that you don't have to write for the sake of it. Like, some days I feel that there's not so many things happening and not so many thoughts in my mind, and I just feel at peace or whatever. So I can write just like 2 sentences or something like that. Say goodnight, and there I am. And the other days I have to use additional journal to write things down. So it's not about how much you write, it's about what you write and how it makes you feel. Next thing is that use whatever tools you have. You don't need Hobonichi, you don't need any fancy notebook. Just pick whatever you have. And maybe you can use the phone. I cannot use the phone because I get distracted. I will get all those notifications, and I don't know, having a phone in my hand just means that I should like scroll something or do something. So this is not a case for me, but maybe it will work for you. Maybe just a plain blank piece of paper will work for you, where you just like gonna write whatever it is with a pencil and just throw it away. You don't need to store that even. But storing is another great advantage, because it's a great possibility to travel back in time. And actually, for the sake of it, I have found that was something that I was writing back when I was in high school or something like that. And oh my god, like, having a possibility to dive into the brain of a teenager is, it's amazing. Like, I'm gonna read you. It was written on the 21st of March, and I don't know which year, but it goes: I have problems. Maybe it's my fault. I just care about attention too much and I want to be liked by everybody, but why? Probably I'm just hiding away from reality because my life is just nothing. And I am just nothing. I'm nobody. It's a fact, and you're gonna learn it sooner or later. You know, like, this is amazing. I would never have a possibility to remember what I was feeling as a teenager if I didn't have that journal. So it's like traveling back in time, and it's great. It's amazing. And also, one tip I wanted to give at the end of the video: if you are feeling completely stuck, empty, but you still want to write something down, please remember that gratitude is a great practice. Try to be grateful. Come up with at least one thing to be grateful. For example, for me today, it can be the sun. It's super sunny today, and I lived in the northern part of our beautiful, beautiful world. So I don't get that much sun during winter, and today it's super sunny, and my cat was taking a sun bath, and oh my god, I'm super grateful for that, and it makes me feel really good. Or you can also try the achievements of the day practice, where you try to list down things that you feel proud about, like some of the accomplishments that you've done during the day. For example, today I did my laundry, and I should have done it a couple of days ago, but I did it today. It's done, it's ready. I am proud of that. Or you've done something work related, like you had this big task and you finally cracked it, or whatever. So you can always write about this, and I actually do this, and I try to be consistent both with gratitude and achievements. And I think all of it together is just works and makes me feel really good. Mostly less stressed, more excited, and more fulfilled. And yeah, that's it. So please try journaling for yourself and share your thoughts. And as usual, have the most beautiful and precious and amazing, amazing day. And I'll see you soon. Bye bye.